Hello, Tiger people. So, Tiger people, just moving this down a little bit. Hello, Tiger people. So, Tiger people, we're going to start with a card from, what we're doing today is integrating light and shadow. It's readings to integrate your light and shadow. So, I'm going to start with a card from the White Light Oracle, and that's going to show you what you're projecting and what you consider light, your light that you are trying to embody. And I'm also going to draw a card from the Phantomwise Tarot, which is going to represent your shadow, what you've been trying to ignore and shunt aside, except what you need. It is actually what you need to embrace and include in order to be whole. So let's turn these. We have Shaktipat of Seahorse, which is, this is basically Seahorse Grace. So Seahorse are not very strong swimmers, and so they sort of wrap their tail around something that is relatively solid and just trust that what they need will come to them. And that's sort of what you're trying to do, is just sort of live in a state of grace. Without you're still doing work, but in terms of just, you're trying to just sort of embrace and project, sort of embracing this state of grace where you're trusting that everything you need will come to you. But you are actually, you're a very emotional person. And so that's sort of trying to get your attention, is that, some of this is causing some of this to be ignored. And you really need to be, King of Cups, you really need to be very comfortable with that in its very large place in your life. Even if you are working on being more trusting and being more in a state of grace, you still definitely need to include your emotions because they are a big part of who you are. So let's get some runes down. We have the Black Tourmaline runes. It's the Elder Futhark, but it's on Black Tourmaline. It's a lovely set, even if some of it is weirdly put on. These are like natural stones, so, well, they're polished, but they some of them are in landscape format. I didn't get any of them on this spread, but sometimes I turn it and it's like, oh, that's sideways. Okay, so your central issue dealing with this is we have Othala reversed, and Othala is the home and the homeland rune. It has to do with sanctuary, home, basically comfort, things like that. When it's reversed, it's letting go of things that no longer serve you, but also be stepping out of your comfort zone. So you're in a situation where, maybe this is what you really, really want to be, is just comfortable with letting things come to you and trusting that everything that you need will. But at the same time, your emotions need to be acknowledged because you have them and they are big. So it's sort of a comfort zone issue for both sides here. We have, the comfort zone issue of, I'd really like to be able to surrender to, the natural grace. But I have these big emotions, and the other side is like, I have, I feel what I feel, and I am not going to disacknowledge this, even if I'm really trying to appear like, I'm surrendering to natural grace. So, leading up to this, you maybe have had a situation where your inner communication you weren't trusting it as much as you'd like to, which is probably why you were shunting the emotional side of yourself aside. But at the same time, you were in communication with yourself. And this is probably where you were like, no, you know what, we're going to do this. We're going to try this, where we're just going to trust that what we need is going to come to us. But shadow being shadow got sort of shoved into a closet, and that's not okay. We need to integrate that. So what is going to help you is we have Pertho reversed. Pertho is the rune of the lot box. This has to do with surprises and fate. The surprises it has to do with is surprises that were always there. It is reversed in the upper line, and that means inner. So you're having an inner surprise. You're realizing something about yourself that you didn't know before, but that was always there. And guess what? Surprise, you have a King of Cups inside you, which is your shadow that you've been shoving aside a little bit. So recognize that, acknowledge it, that it's always been there, and that it is part of your fate as you move forward. So acknowledging that is part of is a part of the integration and part of the inclusion. What isn't going to help is you are really worried about what if I need more than what is just going to come to me. kind of thing. We have Nauthiz, which is the rune of need, and of course that's going to be the case. We are not seahorses, so as much as we might like to be sometimes, but there are things that we are going to have to address for our needs that are not going to be automatically coming to us, and part of it is going to be tending to your emotions, which are on your side. They are telling you things that you need to know. So, and it's also where the magic lives. So there's that. What this is going to lead you to, so if that starts to drag you down, bring yourself back to where you are acknowledging this part of yourself that you maybe hadn't realized all along was there, but was there all along. And what this is going to bring you to is we have Manas, which is the rune of humanity and your part in it. You're going to feel much more whole once you've acknowledged and embraced this and included this. And this is going to help you step out into the world and feeling more of who you are than you were before, and more that you're in the right place and more that you belong, because you feel more whole and more integrated. So that Year of the Tiger people is your reading, integrating light and shadow. So I wish you a lovely day or evening. Take care till next time. Bye.